Sign up now at elevate.miami.edu for my course, Organized Rhyme.
Looking at the word legacy, while involving some wordplay, I'll use the first syllable to build upon. We'll use the first syllable, leg. For the second syllable, we'll use an. And for the third syllable, we'll use the word knee. So now we have leg and knee. Can we use it in context with legacy? Let's just see.
Wordsworth Productions with a S.com for all merch. I got 2 books available right now. Well, Words Are Worth Volume 1, and I also have a children's book called Socks. Age range from 12 to 15, so it's kind of like the middle school and high school age range, but adults can read it as well. I truly appreciate
Hold up, bro.
you.
Hold up, Word. Don't record yet.
What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of What Words Are Worth. And today I have a legend, lyricist, somebody that's iconic to hip hop, not only for the flow, but for having that voice too. When he comes on the track, it's recognizable. Then having lyrics that when I first heard him, I was like, who's that? Yo, what's this right here? I went and bought the project. I had to go buy. At that time, I bought the cassette and everything, and I was excited to be a fan. And then later on, was lucky to work with him on the Lyricism Lounge show and have him on there as well. And then also just be a fan from afar and listen to not only his group work that he's put out with the Licks and, you know, the Alkaholiks, as we know from the start, but his solo art is just incredible, man. So welcome to the stage, the iconic, legendary lyricist. And I got to stress lyricist because that's what this show is about. The only, one and only Tash. Thank you, man.
Hey, what's up? What it do? What it does, man? How you been?
I'm great, brother, man. I appreciate you finding time. I know you've been busy. We've been playing like kind of like phone tag in some ways to make this happen. So, man, I'm very appreciative, man, of it. And you know, like before knowing you, like I said, I'm a fan first, or you know, so when you rhyme and I'm listening for the bars, I'm like, okay.
And you gotta think you was catching all that music. I appreciate everything you said, but you was catching all that music before the internet. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I'm
surprised it reached. You was in Brooklyn back then. Where was you at?
Yeah. I was in Brooklyn, man. I was in Brooklyn, and then I would be home in Brooklyn, and then whatever stuff came out, I was able to, because the videos, that's how I would always see it first. So fortunately, Ralph McDaniels, you know, Video Music Box is really how a lot of that's how I caught on to a lot of y'all. Video Music Box will always have the latest stuff. So then watching Video Music Box, and I'll be like, yo, this is crazy, yo. And then the tracks and the beats was crazy.
Speaking of that, Ralph McDaniels, Ralph McDaniels, he directed Liquid and Only When I'm Drunk. He was the director. So I knew I was popping on that channel. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so see, I hadn't known that, but now you see it. That's what I pinpointed. That's exactly when I first saw everything and heard everything. And immediately, then the anticipation built for like,
and we kind of blew it with that too, because I cut you off, but we kind of blew it with that too, because when we did it, we shot it in New York. People were already thinking it was from New York, so that kind of sealed the deal. Everybody thought we was from even LA. You know what I'm saying? Everybody thought we was from the Big Apple. It was like, man, listen to the music. We say LA every song, every verse of every song. Somewhere in there, but
I didn't know where y'all were from. I just love the music, you know, and I love the fact that y'all had the bars, the beats, and everything, and then like getting that type of like group, you know, like dynamic duo of rhyming and the beats, and you know, all of that stuff. It's hard to do.
Yeah, man. It's kind of like I'm gonna say I was born into it, man. But you know, my cousin E. Swift and everything, he's a hell of a producer. But back when we was in high school and all that, I kind of watched him learn how to make beats, and he's a hell of a DJ, so he used to get booked for these parties and all this shit. And I love rap music, but I wasn't really rapping seriously then, you know what I mean? But just like you watch, you know, a flower, a tree grow and shit, then it's you know what I'm saying? I watched we got his first beat machine and this and that. So, you know, we was both born in Ohio, me and E. Swift. So when we migrated to California, a lot of that funk, you know, the Ohio Players and the Bootsy Collinses and the you know what I'm saying? That funk was in us. So, you know, I think that had a lot to do with, you know, the sound we came with and everything. But, you know, you could tell we was different to be from LA though, you know?
Yeah. I think overall, everything that's dope about y'all as the group is the fact that what's kind of missing in some elements of today is the fact that it was new for me to see it, right? It's original. So that was important back then. You couldn't sound like nobody, you couldn't be like nobody. So the integrity, when y'all came, it was brand new. It was nothing, it was nothing that I've seen before. And I was like, this is incredible. So, you know, I want to talk about you know, this show is about your writing process and lyricism. So we're gonna get into that, but I also want to talk about your new single, you know, The Shoe Fits, you know. Tell me more about that right there. You know, I love the cover too. The album, the single cover is fire. The shoebox and everything.
Yeah.
Tell me how'd you get to that point and where we are with the rest of the music coming forward.
Okay, I'm gonna break it down real quick. I don't know if you ever heard. Did you hear the song I put out last year called "Attention Is a Drug"? My solo shit.
Yes, I did hear that. Okay,
I put that out, and what happened was we had to take it down because of the sample. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why else? All the motherfucking samples all over the world, they, you know, they said something. So, bottom line is we didn't know what to, I mean, we was gonna clear the samples, but you know it takes a process and everything. So, of course, we just now got them cleared. Shout out to Will I Am. He stepped up like a champ. You know what I'm saying? And looked out for us. Him and C4 did a remix to that song. We're about to drop the video. Will I Am directed the video. It's the remix to Attention Is a Drug, but we got the whole Alcoholic crew on there. We got King T, Exhibit on there. Will I Am is on there. The Far Eye, you know. So that's dropping next month and everything. But Shoe Fits was supposed to be a bug, just like Attention Is a Drug. Yeah. Like you know, when you're looking for the best situation, but sometimes the deals ain't coming and this and that ain't doing this. So I kind of put the two songs, I put them as a buzz record, you know what I'm saying? Right. Just to get some eyes on me, because I got so much music already recorded and that I work on, you know, when I can and stuff. I'll be bouncing. I got my hands in a lot of cookie jars, man. But, you know, like I was saying, Attention Is a Drug got put on the shelf. Will I Am stepped up. He saw, you know, took an interest in the song and everything. So we've been doing big things with FYI. That's his compound over there full of technology and shit. Yeah. Like, I don't know if you ever been there, but it's a crazy facility. But like what's the name? Shoe Fits, man. The song kind of took legs of his own. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's a great record, man.
Bumping it overseas at a soccer game and shit. So I was like, you know,
it's a great song.
Yeah, but I got a situation with Fat Beats that we're gonna put out we're gonna press up a bunch of vinyl, but they started a label over there. So we're gonna promote it like you know, we got a deal, kind of like a label deal, but it's really, I have a label called Algorithm that I started in conjunction with Fat Beats. So that's where my music is gonna be coming out through. Shout out C4, Liquid Frames, you know, all the people over there.
Yeah, shout out to Fat Beats, shout out to Eclipse over there and Joe and everybody. One of the things one of the things that's dope about you that I can see and also just know that this camaraderie that you have throughout the industry that everybody wants to see you win. Like it's one of those things, like everybody likes how you rap. Everybody likes you as a person, that anything you do, or if you like need somebody to rap on something, whatever, we have no problem. Like, yo, whatever Tash needs in that vibe. And then also the other thing about this song particularly is the hook is so dope. The hook is so dope, man. That hook is so ill, man. I think it's so perfect.
It's
it's super catchy, but the way you break down the blue part, the red part, everything about the hook is incredible. And
I'm trying to get a shoe endorsement with that hook, man. But you know, you're talking to Jump Man, some other people, Clear Weather. But it's crazy because the song, you know how you're an MC, so you probably could relate to this. You know how you want a song to come out, like you got a meaning to the song, and then your pants start going and you just say, fuck all the meaning, I'm just gonna do it. That's what happened. Because see, Shoe Fit was really supposed to be talking about like a person's character, saying, right, whoever you are, you know what I'm saying, be that person. If that shoe fit, whatever they think about you, if that's really you, just make it your shit. You know what I'm saying? That probably didn't make sense, but I know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Okay, dig it. But it just turned out that the beat was so hard, I just started not rambling, but I just got back to my just creativity, you know, trying to say something different. That's it.
Yeah. Speaking
of, we having fun with that song though. Tell you the truth, man. Tell you the truth.
Yeah, I want to elaborate more on like your creativity and your writing style. So for me, hearing your writing style is very precise with lyricism, but then it's also your flow. You got different flows and a cadence. The voice, like I said. So to me, your writing style is making sure that the lyrics are on point, but it's also straight to the point too. Like you're able to be cleverly to the point. You know, some people make it so too abstract you can't get it. You make it clever to the point. You got punchlines in it. Sometimes you might just have a serious note in there. It's just you're able to be so diverse with it. How do you define your writing style?
You know what it is? I think I write my best stuff. I think I go through mood swings sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And I think I write the best when I'm not focused. I don't know if that makes sense, but what I mean by that, just like I don't write to the beat. Like for some reason, my mind is always scattered with shit. You know what I'm saying? It just feels like, you know, I got a lot of stuff going on up here. So when people play me beats, as soon as the producer play the beat, if I'm in the studio with him, he can turn it off. Like that's what I'm gonna do anyway, is walk out. Like when a producer play the beat over and over and over, I can't think of nothing. It's been like that since '92. Like when we did 21 and over, I used to go to the car and just sit in the front seat of the car and just had a stereo on deck. So when I think of something, I feel like it's gonna match the beat, then I just turn the stereo on and bump it, and I say it then I turn it back off. I wrote everything since '93 a cappella. You know what I'm saying? Never to the beat.
That's crazy you got into that, because I did want to ask you, are you writing on paper, pen, you know, or on the computer, or you write in your head?
Nah, I got the on my cell phone. I'm traveling a lot, so you know people just keep their cell phone with them. Yeah. The notes thing, I probably not songs, just compartments full of raps. Probably got 400 just notes and long. If it wasn't on this phone, I could show you. You know what I'm saying? Don't steal what's no play, but they pop ideas pop in my head all the time, so I gotta have something. That's why I'm glad they made that right there. I mean, I still when I get like on Sundays when I'm just chilling and everything, I still bust out the pad and pen because it's like the way it feels. You know what I'm saying? I got hella notebooks in there, and I look through them and see if I missed some old shit that I said that I liked or something like that. So I still got the pen and pad handy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people now taking pen and paper now more as art. So I'm sure whatever you write down, people would be like more than willing to pay money for something you write down and you hand to them as the way it seemed like it's going.
I got stacks of raps. And then another thing I do is when the song, because I always want to document stuff and everything. Yeah. Like my shit is so scribble scrabble. Like when I wrote on the paper, if I went in there and showed you right now, you would trip. Like, how do you read that? You know, my shit is terrible. But it's like in my head, I got it to I've been doing it so long, I understand what I wrote. But on the phone, I like it because I can just talk into the phone and just say hella ideas. Yeah. And I look back and be like, oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, that's whack. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and everything. But I'm advancing with technology, I guess. But that's how I do it, man. I got a studio session right after this with I don't know if you heard of Young Trav, but everybody's out here because I like the way hip hop is going too. Because after the studio session I got right now, we going to Corrupt and Master Killer. They have an album together.
With Rakim.
That's crazy because Corrupt one of my best friends and Master Killer and me, Loud Records 93. We got a history with Wu-Tang and Alkaholiks and all that. Right. So it's dope how they come together at 26. And I'm gonna go to their video shoot and turn up.
What? Speaking of like those artists, those are like legacy artists to us as well. Who were some of your influences coming up? Like you being in Ohio, right? And then going to the West Coast, and then so you have that Midwest, and then you have the West Coast, and I'm sure you heard East Coast. You know, we all heard different coasts. Who were like the people that influenced you to kind of become Tash, like the puzzle pieces that you know?
I'm gonna tell you a big song that influenced me back in I don't know what year it came out, but I was, hip hop was new, kind of new to Ohio back then. But you remember the song Space Cowboy?
Oh, you talking about Space Cowboy? Yeah, I bought that. You talking about Jamiroquai?
For some reason, I was in the 5th grade or whatever grade, 4th, 3rd, whatever it was. That song blew my mind. Then Atomic Dog blew my mind, and a couple other ones blew my mind. And so when rap came out, that funk from that right there just led me that way. So further down the line, I mean, you know, the West Coast was known for the funk, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, as far as like the Roddy Chapman's of the world, that's where the funk element comes in my raps. You can hear it when I'm rapping to it. I sound better over those type of beats, you know what I'm saying? Like the b-boy shit and the funk shit has always been my lane, you know. But as far as influence in rap, I probably would say LL Cool J, just like everybody else, you know what I'm saying, around that time. You know what I'm saying, wanted to be like LL Cool. I don't give a what you say. If you weren't trying to be like him, you were trying to be like the dope dealers or whatever that he was looking at or whatever. That's what it was all about. And, you know, he was around the same age of us and everything. So him, later down the line, you know, of course, you got to give Redman his props. He the funk doc and all that. Man. You know, he was always a big influence me to stay in my lane, you know what I'm saying? And this and that, just lyrical and stuff. Because really, with the West Coast, a lot of times they want to hear the simplest shit, you know what I'm saying? They want to hear the, you know, what happened last night and them type of raps and stuff. So, you know, especially De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest, you know, they took us on our first tour. So looking at them at that age and everything influenced me. It was like being on tour with greatness, you know what I'm saying? And watching their style and stuff. So they was big influences to, you know, what I do. But the biggest influence probably King T though. I was hanging with King T fresh out of high school. So, you know, and he was a part up gangster rapper. So imagine how, you know, that was going. But shout out to my big brother, King T. You know,
shout out to King T, man. He is extremely dope, man. And he definitely, like I said, I got to see a lot of that West Coast stuff introduced from videos. Like, you know, like it's ill how we were talking about how Ralph McDaniel, but Ralph McDaniel was really a bridge. Like if a video came out from the West Coast, I would see it from him, and I'm sure it was vice versa and a lot of that as well. When you're writing these songs, what do you come up with first? Are you verse first and then hook, or is it the other way around?
I don't really have. I would love for the hook to be there because then it gives you an easier. You know what I'm saying? That's where you're going with it, so it makes the raps easier to start and finish, and because you're just talking about a subject, you know. But I don't really have no. Shit just pop in my head all the time when it pops in, you know. And I got an app on my phone. I shouldn't say the name of it because I should be getting some money for that, but it's like having a little studio on your phone. Like I don't know if you heard of this band. I ain't gonna even say it, but I should say it. BandLab, they might give me some money for this shit. But BandLab is one of the.
I teach and my students use BandLab, Tash.
Oh man, like it's like having a little studio.
They use it on
in your pocket.
On their laptops in class. That's what they use. They be like, Mr. Johnson, I want to rock with BandLab. This is so I got you.
I'm gonna do a BandLab album. That's what I told everybody because I got like hundreds of songs on BandLab that I just. You know, because I like at this point I've been rapping so long that I don't want to say everything sounds the same to me.
I know,
but it would have to. Some of my music, sometimes is I just feel like that's the one every once in a while. But other than that, I just feel like I got a lane and I stay in it, and all this. I ain't gonna say it sound the same, but it's just more like no rap is better than this one because it's me thinking of it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not judging it. It's just like, you know.
Do you think that's from how we kind of came up in those eras of like we're doing what we love and we're kind of keeping the integrity of the culture, so we're keeping this way, and then today you kind of just do whatever you like. You know what I'm saying? But coming up, we was kind of like keeping it real vibe. If you say, you know, what do you think?
Yeah, but that's the beauty of it is that at this age and everything, we have to find the people. I mean, as far as consumers, the people that we're trying to get our music to and everything, like there's billions of people out there, and I don't feel like my music reaches a fraction of them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's what my goal and my aim is too. I think the more you hear my new stuff, the more you'll say he's kind of better than he was back then, and we liked him back then. So that's the goal I'm after. But you know, it's just hard to be yourself and get people to, you know, really rock with you without doing some corny ass shit that we ain't doing. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I that's what you was asking. You were saying, do we feel obligated or yes, we do. We got to carry the torch and be like, you got to have some kind of integrity, my nigga. Like you could be street, you could be whatever you want to be, but it's pretty soon it's gonna sink in that it's strength in numbers, and we could be powerful as hip hop, as a nation, as a culture, as a whatever, you know what I'm saying? But we gotta support each other, and if it's whack, don't be afraid to say it's whack. If I'm whack, please tell me. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I feel like a lot of passes been given for the last couple of years. You know, we used to thrive on new shit that was dope. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like we thriving on negativity. I believe it's like you got to make the most ignorant shit to get some likes and views. That's why I made the song "Attention Is a Drug." Attention is a drug. Oh, we got Q-Tip on it. I'm tripping. I ain't missed that on the remix. Q-Tip on the remix doing the Q-Tip.
Yeah, I think like what you're hinting at as well is the fact that today it's so easy to just release something. Like you don't have no real gatekeeping or crew of people that you can run your verse by. It's like y'all recorded, I'm dropping it tonight, and it's like there's no way of quality control. The quality control isn't really there. And kind of like we said when we came up, it's like, and you got the ciphers. The ciphers was the quality control. The open mics, they would let you know, different places and different arenas, people would let you know how dope you were. In regards to writing, how long does it take for you to write a verse or a song?
It ain't no set time limit. It just depends. If I get the beat and I hear it, I got like a metronome in my head. You know what I'm saying? If it's important, I sit down and I do it. But if it, you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm getting some money for it, hour. You know what I'm saying? But but it just depends. I gotta feel it, and then I just gotta have some time to say let's work on this song. And I be having so many ideas that a lot of times, a lot of these features and stuff it be verses that I just had on deck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And everything, and then it just happened to blend right in with whatever's going on. There. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned it depends on the pay aspect to it, because that's just part of where we are, the business and things. So how do you gauge like your own projects and writing your own music versus, let's say, a video game commercial or something has this deadline? How do you gauge like the time you put into your own stuff versus that?
I mean, everything with me is a feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like when you did like Knockout Kings, the video game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was hyped to do it. They said we could do the beat. We could do it. They said whatever you turn in, we just want that sound. And I feel back then, I feel like I was not a pioneer and shit, but you know what I'm saying? I was one of the first ones to be hurt, because when you put the video game in, that's me that you hear right when it come on. Look up Knockout King. But the whole thing is I was inspired, so it didn't take no time. I said, we're talking about boxing, and I was into boxing, so I knew the names, the this and this, and it's boom, 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 boom. If somebody hit me with a subject that I don't know you know what I mean? I'm not familiar with or not knowledgeable about, it's gonna take me, because I gotta do the research and then come back with it. So that take a little longer. But everything with me is just a feeling. If I'm feeling it, it take me probably take me, if I'm chilling, 3 hours.
And I
like go back and forth. I'm real critical of my shit, my own self. I feel like I could milk the same shit I've been doing forever, but I always try to sound a little bit different with the same voice,
Yeah, I think something you just said is super important that's missing, that probably why we may get some of this music that we be like, what's that? You said you do research. I feel like a lot of these kids, sometimes even some of the students I work with, they're like, I'm like, yo, just go look that up before you want to write about that. Go do research on it. You don't got to know everything to write up. You got to do research. So I guess maybe how or when did you feel like, yo, that I guess that confidence to say, yo, I don't got to just come out my head. Let me go look. I want this rhyme to be, because some people just write whatever.
But research with this chat GPT shit and all this, I'm researching stuff every day.
Right.
But I'm just skeptical because I don't know. It's coming from a computer manufacturer, you know what I'm saying, this and that. So I don't know how accurate a lot of stuff is.
Yeah.
Because you ain't got a person sitting there like, look, man, was you there? Did you see it? Did you
Right.
So it's more like, you just take a word for it. But yeah, man, it's this technology is really tripped out how the course of music is going right now. Like you could basically just tell the computer to make you a song. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The beat, the rap, the this, the that, take your voice, distort it, make it AI voice, you know what I'm saying? So I think that a lot of people taking shortcuts and not really, but they not cut from. See, I love this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, I'm sure you do too, because you're still doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we had experiences. You know, I remember with me and you, the Lyricist Lounge, Thursday Howl on them. Fool, on them. Everybody.
Yeah.
But you know, that was a learning experience. You know, we shot pilots for the a hip hop TV show.
Yeah.
Using real actors rapping and all that. You know,
Right.
That never been done before. You know, we was a part of that. So, you know, that's why I think that we still love it like we do, because we real factors in it. You know.
Yeah. Taking the craft seriously and don't mind researching. Now, as far as when you're saying your verses, did you come up in that same school as a lot of us did? Like, yo, you can't punch in the verse, you got to do it straight through, or it doesn't matter if you punch in the rhyme.
I used to be loaded, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. We was the Alkaholiks, man. I was a punch king. I got that from King T. We was a punch kings, but the whole thing was, if I knew the rap, then I say, if I didn't know paper or nothing like that,
yeah,
just throw it. Because I had raps for days, but some I memorized, some I didn't. But if it was a rap that I knew I was using for this song, I would practice it, and I go to the studio, and it wouldn't be no punch. You know what I mean? But that was early, though. That was early, boy.
Yeah, man.
You know.
Yeah,
but
it's funny, man. Being in some of these studios coming up, depending on who you were working with, it was like, nah, I get that straight through, or yo, punch, And then after a while, now that I guess we're more free in doing whatever we want to do it. Like, I'll be like, man, punch that in. Ain't nobody gonna be able to tell. You the only one that can tell yourself.
Right.
Nowadays.
Yeah.
A
but
clean
it depends on the punch, cause I can hear some punches clear as day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some of them you can hear for sure.
So that the level be, you know what I'm saying? And all this.
Yeah.
But ain't nothing wrong with punching the set. Whitney Houston punched me and shit. But
right.
But but one thing about it, when you live and you stand in front of that crowd, ain't no punching it, bro.
No punching on that. What's the atmosphere now in the studio versus when you came out as the Alkaholiks versus Tash in the studio now?
Oh, it's night and day. My shit be boring. Nah, I mean, it be all right though. It be like more, because I'm doing this project I'm working on now. I'm doing it myself, so I ain't got J-Ro staying in Arizona.
Okay.
And Swift, he around somewhere, but I don't, when I'm doing my own subtle stuff, Swift, he like the head of sounds at one of these big sound companies and everything. So he be doing like WrestleMania and Wildin' Out and Celine Dion and all this stuff. So he be busy. But I think that back then, take for instance, like we got signed with Loud Records, we had them songs and everything on deck. So we really we recorded our demo. So the whole studio session was just a party from the time we got there. We was walking in with coolers and shit. You know what I'm saying? like we go on a fishing trip, coolers full of beer and all this. And then, we would just invite the homies and girls and all this. It just turned into like Animal House,
Right.
But that's how you know if you're making a party record, because all we used to do is party to the music we were making. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, as time went on and everything, we started realizing we were blowing a gang of money. So that's when Exhibit was strict. Like his studio says it'd be real, but it'd be fun.
Yeah.
But he'd be like Pac, you know what I'm saying? He'd be that we ain't here to be bullshitting attitude, But I think that with this technology and everything, it's a lot faster than it used to be. Remember them big 2-inch reels and all this shit back then?
And then remember they had to get mailed.
You had to cut the tape and all that.
Remember they had to get mailed. If you were somewhere else, somebody had to mail you the 2-inch reels overnight.
Yeah, you had to mail that big. It's like 8 pounds and shit, man.
Yeah, if you wanted to do a collab, you had to mail the 2-inch reels to the studio.
Or they'll fly you in. It was cheaper to fly you in to fly the tape.
Yep. That was crazy.
Yeah, man. But yeah. I miss them days, but with this technology, I don't be in the studio long like I used to be. Because nowadays I really, if I got my vocals ready and everything and the beat is already up, it's a push of a button. So my studio has to be an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then I let them mix it or whatever. And I come back and if I, we'll sit there and I listen to it, and then that might add an hour. But most songs get done in like 2 hours.
Yeah, and it's not, I think this era is better. I tell people this era is better because there's no gatekeeping. I don't know how many times you've been to meetings or you know, I remember sometimes people making fake meetings. Yo, I'll meet you, come to the office, and you get there, you know, meetings canceled. You try to go meet somebody. You know, there would be a lot of flaking going on with you trying to get on at times. You know, people would not keep it real at all. You know, just have you trying to chase them down to get a deal. Now, Tash, you just make the joints, and then you just be like, "Yo, we might drop that next week." You know.
And but they went into the whole thing that's tripping me out about this whole wave of music is that, you know, when you're more interested in what this person is wearing than how he sounds, then it's a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I had a talk with this one dude on Gully TV, one good dude, Jameer, over there and everything. We had this debate about, I was telling him, the point I was trying to make was that I don't give a fuck if you got on, because I'm an MC. If you got on Gucci, Louis, from head to toe, to this, to this, to this, to this, if you rap and you sound horrible, that don't help you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just look good, sounding horrible. Like,
right.
And he said, no, hip hop is a part of the clothes is just as important as the whoop and the wop. Like, we from New York, so we stay fly and we da-da-da-da-da. I said, but that don't help your raps, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's true.
And maybe that's just because, so that's why I say I don't understand how all these artists that aren't that good are making it. But there's a lot of good artists, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, but how are these artists that aren't good get it? Then you look up, you see it's their image. You know what I'm saying? It's their stories, it's their, you know, they jail stories or they fly stories or they, you know, whatever it is, that's more important than the music now, you know, but then you got people like me that you know, I'm gonna fight for. I still believe in the old musician ways. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with Al Green, that's my godfather, and Teeny and all them is banging. So I seen, you know, the whole the what it takes to be a great musician. You know what I'm saying? And I just want all that. I want all that energy instead of the easy way out. You know, some people take the steps. Some people take the elevator.
Yeah, I think like you mentioned, like Al Green, that's your godfather, and just like, to me, honestly, that's the era of like soul shifting music. When I hear an Al Green record, you know, when I hear anything from that era and that music comes on, you feel it in your soul. Like it's you know, I hear some hip hop songs. I can get that kind of vibe too, like that hair raising music. You know, I love Top Billin' when that comes on. Like, you know, certain records, New York State of Mind, come on with Nas and give me that. Woo, you know, like there's certain records, but that era of Al Green and all that soul era, man, it was amazing music. You know, Donny Hathaway, like anything in that kind of like realm of music, I don't feel has ever really been duplicated on a sonic soul level, you know. But I know you got time, so I'm going through with these. How about your beat picking process? Because you're great with picking beats, you know what I'm saying? That's why I think, Tash, you've been here this long too, because the rhymes are always fire, and when you drop a joint, it's always fire, you know. Like the Shoes Fit joint is not like something I'd be like, yo, it's not surprising. It's just like, yo, this is another fire joint expected from you. So what makes you go, nah, not that one, and this one is it, you know?
I think that the best, how do you describe it? Like we when we was at Alkaholiks, man, we had this song, we had this style called the drunken style and everything, right? And that's what Swift used to take the break beats and do all this, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to develop a sound right now that when you hear it comes on, that you kind of know that's either Tash or that's somebody trying to sound like, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So I don't know what it is. I basically, I got a production crew that consists of, you know, some top-notch producers, Nate the Great, my girl Bay God. She's a super talented lady. She's the one that directed the Shoe Fit video, and then her boyfriend was, we might as well say husband, it was 20 years, but he's the one that made the beat for Shoe Fit. You know what I'm saying? Then I have a producer, C4, that's working on my stuff, and C4 is the one that did Attention Is a Drug before that. But we are the crew, we are a camp called Liquid. It's called Liquid Frames, and basically it's like frames, like movie frames and everything, because that's what we're getting into right now. And shout out to Some, shout out to Poop, shout out to everybody that's down with it. But Shell, but it's super dope being around creatives though. Like
yeah. Are you
they're like
picking
the
the
smart,
beat?
they're like the tech people, and I'm like what I'm saying, not this and this, but basically I go to them for advice because they super knowledgeable about our type of hip hop and everything. So they
Right.
know what type of beats to throw my way, and they spend time to make sure they develop a sound that that represents what I'm trying to do right now. So I'm super excited about that. I want
And
y'all to
then
hear that music too. So it ain't about me all the time. It's they fire artists too.
And then how about rhyming on beats with drums versus beats with no drums? Is there a preference? Does it matter? Or
Drums, I'll take just a drum, a beatbox. I take with no drum. I remember Evidence called me a long time ago. He was telling me this is about to be the way before anybody was doing this shit. Before Griselda, before all the whoever's doing it right now. No,
yeah, yeah.
but Evidence called me a long time ago. He said, and I told him, I said, hey man, I said, just send me what you're talking about, because he said it's gonna be these clips. He said you're gonna hear these loops, but they're gonna be so soulful and funky that you can rap
Yeah.
on them, but they're not gonna have a beat. I said, man, don't send me with nothing with no beat in it, man, because I said up top I'm already gonna be like, nah, this and that, because the sound wasn't out yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I was fighting. I said, man, just send me something and everything. He was like, nah. He's like, we'll do it when you come here. When you come back to LA, just holler at me. And I was like, man, just sit. He was like, nah, because it's gonna be the future and nobody's gonna hear this. And he really didn't send me the shit, and I missed the boat. I never. Then next thing you know, here go a whole bunch of MCs rapping with no beat, and I was like, Evidence was trying to put me up. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to put me up on game before this and that. But anyway, drums, man. That's the answer to the question, man. Drums.
Okay.
All day.
And what's your revision process like, as far as, do you write a rhyme and you keep everything you wrote, or are you in a booth editing at the same time? Like, I got to change that. How is that revision process?
I don't be revising nothing. Like, tell the truth, I don't even book the studio until I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I got 3 16s and it's 2 of them is done, and then there's one is missing 4 bars, I ain't booking the studio yet. You know what I'm saying? Because when I go in, I like to be bang, 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 bang. Let's bang it out.
Yeah,
Let's party a little bit. Let's bang it out. Next one. Let's party a little bit. Bang it out. Next one. Boom. Next you know, 4 hours gone, 3 songs later. You know what I'm saying? Quick,
and
fast.
then
And then they start twisting the knobs and doing all the computer shit to it. Like,
and then how important is it for you to like do storytelling in your raps? Like, you're able to do everything rapping. So I know sometimes when you're rhyming, you'll do like kind of like little anecdotes in your raps and then go back to kind of barring. What's the importance to you to have that balance of doing stories at the same time? Like, because
I do stories, but my stuff, I feel like if I'm rapping about my real life, my story be boring sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Niggas
rap
have a
life
story
is
about sold
crazy
out
though.
and this and that.
But rap life is crazy. Rap life
The
is
last
fire.
story we rap about. I had a story about how'd it go? Said we follow the story. I don't remember it. I said, I got a homie named Romy that likes to write graffiti with type 2 diabetes, but still don't eat his Wheaties. But every time you see him, he's known for his consistency. We call him Instagrams because he'll serve you grams instantly. We distantly related, so we stayed associated. He used to love to bump my music. He loved to play it faded, catching fades with his fist because he was drinking like a fish. If you say he drink too much, he say you thinking like a bitch. I wish I would have known before I took him on the road. Gave him $8 a pop for every T-shirt that was sold. But I wish I'd have known he was a cokehead. No, man, I ain't gonna go into this long story. But I got story raps though that I think are boring because I wrote them so real. I didn't put no extras on it. You know what I'm saying? But that was basically like an 80-bar story rap. And I forgot what the hell I said over that. But I took him on the road. He was a cokehead. He bought some prostitutes on the bus, and they robbed us and stole our shit. It's a real story. You know what I'm saying? And all this shit, and I had to kick him off and send him home off the tour and da-da-da-da-da. And the story just dragged out, and it was over the same beat. So I just said, this shit too long or the same, you know what I mean? And I got story raps on. How did we get here? What did I just go into my own shit? I forgot the question now. How did I end up rapping on all this? I'm tripping.
Because I had asked about like your skill with storytelling. Like that's one of the questions I had asked about, and I was thinking about the rap life and like thinking about like, because
I'm thinking we just talking on the phone, just me and you. That's how cozy this interview is and everything.
Yo,
I forgot we were being recorded. All right.
Brother. I try to make it like that because at the same time, even though we're doing the podcast, if we were hanging out, this is how we would be talking anyway. You know
we talking about the same thing. That's right.
Yeah, we still would be talking like this anyway. So I was thinking like with the storytelling, because sometimes I think people may miss that skill that you have, in which understanding that you've been doing storytelling since you came out rhyming. You've been able to do storytelling. And that's one of the things that keeps the longevity as a rapper.
What storyteller you think?
Yeah, like the best storytellers, I think, have the longest careers. And that's one of your traits. That's why I was saying sometimes you'll have a verse and you'll be rhyming and then you veer into a story a little bit there and then you go back into something else. So I think that's one of the things that we love as a fan of yours is the fact that the dexterity and the flexibility of the verses. That's the word I wanted to put in there.
That's how I use a bar right there. Dexterity. What was the other one? I'll be looking for new words.
Man. The dexterity and the flexibility that you have in your verses is why I think a lot of us love hearing you rap. Because you'll rap about, like I said, you'll rap about how fire you are, but then you bring in the part about maybe like a guy or girl in that verse, and then you wind up ending the verse off with like how it all made sense. And I think that might be something, now that I think about it more, it may be something that's underrated about you. Do you know what I'm saying? But that's why I was asking about it, because that's one of the things about doing the show as well, is that trying to highlight all these attributes that you have that people may not have heard or people that may have missed. That's what I like to say. People may have missed it.
They want to hear a good story about me. Tell them to go to 21 and under. That's a good story. You remember that one? 21 and under.
I gotta listen to that one, but I gotta check it out again. But I do have on here at the end. I typically ask what's 3 records or albums or songs that people need to hear of yours that they may not have caught, because you put out so many songs. Some of your songs on your album may be my favorite, but it wasn't a single.
Why did I just? Can I make a point? Because I'm about to go on this other thing and say the same thing.
Yeah.
Why do we make albums, right? And then they come out and all people play are the singles in the clubs and you know what I'm saying? I know that people want to blow up their singles and stuff like that, but DJs, if I make a song and it got 18 songs on it, I make an album and it got 18 songs on it, and then it comes out in the last 4 years, you only played the 2 songs, you know what I'm saying? The 2 songs that we dropped as singles. I feel like that's a waste of the rest of the album. You know what I'm saying? Like people, I can think of 8 Redman songs right now that I would love to hear just banging in some club shit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Other than the one with him and Method Man again. You know what I'm saying? The microphone check up. You know what I'm saying? Even though that's a hit record, I love that record. But I think I've heard it like, how many is it? 10 platinum. It went 10 platinum in my head, man. Because
the Rock Wild, I think. Yeah, I think
that's. But I think the album songs on our albums are better than our singles in some cases, and I wish we would go back and listen to the albums. If you see where I'm going with it, like we make them albums for a reason. But shit, man. I say, listen, attention is a drug, because that has a meaning that applies to right now. Attention is definitely a drug with these peoples, and I would say listen to the Coast to Coast album by the Licks, because that's really where we started formulating into real musicians instead of just house party MCs and everything. That was a building process, the second album. And then listen to Shoe Fits. I'll tell them listen to Shoe Fits. And actually, Attention is a Drug is back up and running right now. It's been down for the whole year. It only had 2 months burn last year when I dropped it. And then the sample shit came up. So we had to take it down, clear the samples. It's been a year, but it just went up 3 days ago. So it's back on, the video's back up. The Spotify, Apple, all platforms. So I say listen to those and support your boy.
What's your favorite song you've done that's on the albums but never like got that love? Like yo, I wish people would have. This is the joint I like that I did, but
just one of my favorite moments on a song that I did. I know a lot of people don't mention him enough, but I know what King T did for us. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't have to do it. So on the one song, I think the song is called "Killing It" with Exhibit. I think it's on the Coast to Coast. Is it on Coast to Coast? It's probably on Coast to Coast album.
Okay.
But King T is the one that introduced me, and with J-Ro, he's from California, but to the lowrider lifestyle, to the, just the elements, to Compton, really, this and that. And I said a line on the song when I said I buy him a car and surprise him with it. You had to listen to it. Just listen to the verse on "Killing It," and that was a tribute to King T. But that's always stuck out as like one of my favorite moments because he loved it and it was for him. And
I got one last question, man. What do you think after all these years of rapping, right? Kind of like looking at what you rapped about, how you rap today and everything, and what you've done. Do you feel like you figured out your purpose of why you make the music, why you were put here to be Tash making the music?
Maybe because it's two different. I stopped drinking 6 years ago, right?
Wow.
So that was a whole career before that. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't end well before I started drinking. You know what I'm saying? Stopped drinking and shit. So I look at that as the party animal, in his younger 20s to 30s, then started maturing, started down, and then you know what I mean? I like the version of myself right now better than I like the old version because it was a learning process and I made a lot of mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Like people ask me about Freaknik 95. I went to 2 years and then I went in 95. I don't know. I spent the weekend in jail in Atlanta. So you know what I'm saying? I don't know how to frequent with, but the little shit like that added up to I had to stop. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like I feel like the best is yet to come. I'm smarter now. I got a lot more to say than I used to. I've learned a lot more. So I just think that good music never plays out. So just look forward to y'all hearing my new thoughts.
Yeah. And I got your social media, Tash _of_the_licks, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
And then so make sure y'all go, follow him on social media. And man, I appreciate you making time. Everybody, he got a studio session. You took time out to
run over here. We'll take out Corrupting him in a minute. See what Master's talking about.
Thank you again, brother, man.
We've been trying to do this for a couple of days, man. So I'm glad we got it done, man.
Yeah, man. I learned a lot from you, and I'm sure people did. So, everybody out there, make sure y'all like, subscribe, check out the episode, comment below and everything. And like I always say, what are your words worth? Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Thank you, bro.